What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe, No Days Off DFS here, bringing that NBA slate breakdown for the 4-game NBA slate. Yes, there are 6 NBA games going on today, but there are only going to be 4 of them on the main slate, especially over there for DraftKings. It's going to be starting with that New York Knicks and Indy game, going all the way up for the Dallas and go to State game. So if you guys new here, make sure you guys drop a like on the video. If you guys enjoying the content, hopefully you guys have been making some money over the last couple of days. Definitely, we've been calling out some decent things. Last night, one of the big ones, at least to me, was being able to get some stacks from that Kings and Hawks game, which honestly, out the gate, boy, the Kings did not look good. I was worried. But De'Aaron Fox, he turned it around. Bonus, he definitely turned it around. He ended up with a decent fantasy point number. Fox went off for like 60 plus fantasy points. Monk off the bench was great. Kevin Herter got injured, so he left the game. So of course, you know how my night in line went. If you paid attention to the stream, you know, I was on for a mini stack from that game of someone like Fox was a bonus, running back with Kevin Herter, because, hey, this was a really good spot for him to actually blow up and have a decent game, which it wasn't going that way anyway before he got hurt. And then running back with like Murray. But honestly, if you're running back with like a Jalen Johnson, or if you just were found a way to play up for Trey Young, like that game, definitely I just kind of felt like if you found a way to get some piece from the game, you did pretty decent nonetheless. But last night, it's in the books. A lot of crazy news and stuff came out anyway up to lock. We got that Boston value, Luke Cornett. If you was able to go ahead and play him, if you played him over Quetta, then you definitely were able to go ahead and cash that right there. So all in all, that just goes back to what I say a lot in regards to don't lock in stuff early. Definitely you want to pay attention up to lock because always, like literally almost every single night, we get some value that comes up, pops up that we weren't expecting early in the day, which will help us get to the studs and stuff that we want to play and build around anyway. So that line that you build early in the day, it kind of doesn't even matter whenever it comes down to getting to lock. But I'm looking at it, perfect lineup last night. They had 2 Kings player, and of course they were off the bench. Malik Monk and Trey Lyles were both of them. Ran that back. If you took Terry Rozier from late game, Tobias Harris, he's clawed and scratched his way there going up against Houston Rockets. Freddie V popped off for a great game. Denny Avnia, who we talked about in that Washington-Brooklyn game. France Wagner kept his role going. And then, of course, like I said, Luke Cornett for that value. All in all, not a bad lineup. Not a bad night, period. Definitely myself, I didn't have the right pieces, so hopefully you guys did. With that being said, if you guys are new here and you guys are enjoying the content, please make sure you drop a like on the video. It means a lot to me. It definitely supports the channel, helps me get out there more to other people. So hopefully they can find these videos and it will help them as well. And drop, subscribe to the video if it is helping you, so you guys don't miss out any of the content I'm putting out over here on the channel. Now, before we can even get into the breakdown, we finally had one of the biggest, well, not even the biggest, but the only trade that I've seen so far this season. The New York Knickerbockers traded for none other than OG Anunoby. OG is finally off of the Toronto Raptors, and lo and behold, both of these teams play today. If we were going to actually be able to get the Toronto Raptors on the main slate, you already know we're going to smack and stack for sure. At least I know I would have been going with Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, just the upside and everything for those guys. That should have been there. OG being gone, that's just more shots for, to me, both those players. Same thing for like maybe Gary Trent. Gary Trent should see some more shots, be able to go up, especially because when you take a player like OG who's averaging close to double-digit shot attempts off of that team, that definitely opens up some shot volume and everything further. But we do get the I guess the value that we might be able to get from the New York Knicks, because already a tight rotation of a team, and they run a very tight rotation. A Knicks team that was already running a 9-man rotation, you just lost two your actual main players. So I'm not going to say that they're going to all of a sudden just drop down and now they're only going to be running a 7-man rotation. But if you know Tom Thibodeau, wouldn't be surprised. But I definitely think that besides that, you're taking a player away that was, again, averaging close to double-digit shot attempts for this game. Because, of course, OG has to come in. He's going to get acclimated. He's going to get those shots that RJ was taking. And, I mean, shoot, same thing for Quickly. Quickly being gone, that's some bench depth right there that you're losing. And, you know, Quickly, he was a double-digit scorer in his own right. Actually pretty decent, I personally thought. Definitely a firecracker scorer off the bench. But you're taking 2 players right there that were averaging, I'll give them at least, I'll say 25 shot attempts on any given night together. So those shots, they got to go somewhere. So, of course, I would expect another uptick for Julius Randle. Same thing for Jalen Brunson. Both those guys, maybe a couple more shots to go up for them in the offense-wise. But I definitely think that's going to trickle down to players like Josh Hart. Josh Hart, I would imagine, gets slid into the starting lineup out there. So it should be, which, of course, RotoWire already has it up here. Should be a starting lineup of Jalen Brunson, Dante, Josh Hart, Julius Randle, then Isaiah Hartenstein. So it'll be interesting to see this unit in action, especially going up against the Pacers. I know for a fact, straight up out the gate, not even getting to the breakdown, not even going through any of that. You're stacking the Knicks shorthanded. You're going to try to get those main guys, run it back with somebody from Indy, because it should be a back and forth affair. Either way, they're down, they're short bodies, and like I said, they run a tight rotation already as it is. Quentin Grimes just even popped up as being sick for today, so it would be really shitty if he wasn't there. But maybe we might actually end up having to see some minutes for McBride, which we know he's a pretty decent player whenever he actually gets some run. Evan Fournier might get dusted off the shelf, and he might get tossed back out there again as well. So that'll be interesting. A little soapbox rant as I talked about the trade. Sorry about that. But all right, going over talking about the injury report, already covered the Knicks. Indy, nothing really to report for them. Bruce Brown, he's still out. That's whatever. For the 76ers, they're on the second night of a back-to-back. They did just play last night against the Houston Rockets, but Nick Batum, game time decision, might be back. Joel Embiid is still out. Over here for the Chicago Bulls, Patrick Williams, he should be playing tonight. Everyone else that's been out, they've been out. And, of course, we're going to have our boy Andre Drummond, the drum dog. He will be in the starting lineup, and we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. Los Angeles Lakers, as always, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, they pop up as game time decisions. They should be playing going up against the number 1 seed in the Minnesota Timberwolves. Towns, same thing for him. He's been questionable game time decision for like the last 2-3 games, and I fully do expect for him to play. Luka, game time decision. I do expect for him to play tonight. And then Kevon Looney, I'm not too sure. I haven't seen anything pop up in regards to him. But either way, definitely interesting, something I want to pay attention to for if Looney will be in or out, because then I think his name is Tracy Jackson Davis. Definitely might be a value play we can go to off the bench, or Sarek. So those guys right there will get a boost if Looney was to be out. All right, heading over to DraftKings, the site that I play the most on, and of course we're going to get that takedown this season. It's coming. I actually, oddly enough, even though this is a small slate, I know ownership is going to be very condensed because it is only 4 games. Of course, a lot of people are going to go straight up, hey, we're going to stack the Knicks shorthanded, boom, so on and so forth. You know, they're not going to worry about like the 76ers, Chicago Bulls, the Lakers, Minnesota, maybe a piece or two from Dallas and go to State. Like, they're not going to worry too much about that. This might be actually, let me look at ownership. This might be a game where Luka, who we know has just been popping off left and right, putting up some big fantasy point games, Luka might be low owned on today's slate just because, yeah, right now Luka, of course, is coming in lower ownership than a lot of those New York Knicks pieces. A lot of them. So, interesting. All right, going ahead. Let's go ahead and start this breakdown. As always, start with New York Knickerbockers. Really kind of just covered it. I'm going to at least have, and I'm going to eat the chalk. And I think you have to eat the chalk. Like, this is one of those spots where you just have to eat the chalk. New York, they're shorthanded. They just lost some bodies. All those shot attempts I just talked about. And then, of course, you got Quentin Grimes, game time decision. Anyway, he was playing off the bench. Josh Hart should move into the starting lineup. Definitely, I do not mind Josh Hart. Of course, he's going to be chalky. He's going to be highly owned. Dante DiVincenzo, more shots for him, 4,800. He's going to be highly owned. Those 20 minutes, he's more likely getting bumped up to about 25, 30 minutes right here in this game. Like, no questions asked. Definitely, you're out there, minutes equal production, nice value play. I see no reason not to go ahead and play it. Now, coming down to it, between the studs, Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson, Randle technically has the better matchup. Opposing power forwards have done very well going up against the going up against the Indiana Pacers, and I see no reason to change that at all right now. Literally, the last several 8 power forwards that have gone against them, outside of Jabari Smith Jr., who had a down game, all of them have at least dropped 35-plus fantasy points going up against the Indiana Pacers. And a player like Julius Randle, who has the usage, who's going to rebound, he's going to go ahead and maybe be able to get a couple of assists out there. Backdoor cuts to a hard or a spot-up shot for Dante DiVincenzo. Of course, you know, with the center situation of Mitchell Robinson being down and out, see some more rebounds and stuff like that for him. And like I said, the shot attempts, I definitely would fully expect for them to be there more for him. Now, if he's able to splash those threes, that's what's going to come through for us. And we've actually seen opposing power forwards who do shoot the three have decent three-point shooting nights going up against the Pacers. So really do like Julius Randle as a pay-up option on today's slate. Again, everything is just in the favor for Julius Randle to be in a really good smash spot. But outside of that, of course, ranking everything. Josh Hart, I'm not even going to question it. Definitely just, to me, value 5.2. I know value is normally 5K and below for me, but value period, just because the minutes to roll and everything that he should actually be able to go out here and play. And he just stuffs the stat sheet in all categories. He's not just a defensive player. He's not just a scorer. He legit does everything out there on the court. So Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, those 2 guys will be the guys I want to go to now. If you want to mess with something off the bench, McBride, he hasn't played in a hot little minute, and I wouldn't be opposed to it. He's been a decent fantasy point per minute producer when he's out there. I don't think I've seen Ryan actually even get any run in quite some minutes. I really am not the biggest fan of Ryan. And then Evan Fournier, I know that he said that coming into the season, he was expecting to have a decent, nice season. They haven't dusted his ass off in a minute. So honestly, McBride would probably be the safest option that you can go to out of anybody down here in regards to these guys. Just pray and hope either they're going to run a really tight rotation. Maybe they might run the 7-8 man rotation, just give him some spot minutes to, of course, Taj Gibson. He's going to get his burner run, which he's dusted. I don't know why the hell he's still even trying to play. And then they're going to have to give some run to one of these players like McBride, Fournier, Archie Okonkwo, somebody. But my bet is going to be either McBride or Fournier will probably be the main two guys. Going over to the Indiana Pacers on the other side right here. Like I said, definitely if I'm stacking on the Knicks, I might want to run it back with somebody over here. It's not a must. You don't have to, but to me personally, it is a good practice to bring someone back, because if we're expecting the game to stay close, we're expecting fantasy point goodness to be scored in this game. That means that something's going to be happening on the other side. Pacers play at one of the fastest pace in the league. They score 140 points practically. I won't say the average is like 135 as it is. Main contributors over here for them: Tyrese Halliburton, Miles Turner. Both those guys, don't mind, don't hate it. Not must plays to me in my eyes. I definitely don't mind coming down to someone like Jalen Smith if they actually still have him starting. Very interesting in regards to running the double big lineup. He's been a very good fantasy point per minute producer at 4.9. This is value right here to me. Going up against a shorthanded Knicks team, I'm not gonna hate it. I just wish that he would be able to play closer to 29-30 minutes, because if he was actually able to get that, dude would honestly just truly smash, I think, honestly, out the water. Nembhard, this is your direct pivot off of Josh Hart. We know he's going to go out there and start. He has been playing 30-plus minutes, especially with Bruce Brown being down. Only played 24 in that Chicago Bulls game, and I want to say it was probably because they were beating him pretty handily out there, and he did pick up 3 fouls. So Nembhard, don't mind him in the spot. He actually grades out as the best matchup on the court for them. In this situation, so don't mind him at 5'2" if you want to mess with that. And then of course Mathurin off the bench, if he comes out here and actually gets hot, I want to say he actually has played pretty decent going up against New York in New York. Let me pull that up real quick on my phone. He actually has really good history going up against New York, at least dropping 20 plus fantasy points in every single game. Last 2 games which he started going up against them, he had dropped 30 plus fantasy points and 40 fantasy points going up against them. So interesting thing right there with Benedict Mathurin, if you're looking for a GPP pivot punt play right there. All right, Philadelphia 76ers, it's going to be the same old thing right here. We finally got that big Maxey blow-up game last night. He popped off for 40-plus points. Been waiting, and I say been waiting for Maxey to actually be able to go out there and do that. He legit went out there. He dropped 42 points, 4 rebounds, and still only 4 assists. So those assists, they're not coming. Definitely, if they still have him at 6.5 assists, I will... Correction. If they have him at 6.5 assists, tonight's going to be the night that he goes over. Because, of course, when we start to think, follow the trend, he's going to go over. That's literally always what happens. No, but in all seriousness, for me, I would take the under on him still. But I wouldn't be surprised if magically he decides he wants to go over today. But looking over here for the Chicago Bulls, not for the Chicago Bulls, for the 76ers going up against the Bulls, it's still going to be for me, Tyrese Maxey, Harris, Melton be the main guys I want to go to and target. Melton and Harris will be the main 2 I will prioritize over everyone else. Kelly Oubre Jr., last night, don't even think he really had the greatest game. He hasn't really popped off since that first game going against Miami. This definitely is a bounce back in a GPP option spot. 24 minutes last night. I don't hate going to him as a low-owned play. Just looking at his ownership right now, he's looking at sub 2% ownership. So I really do actually like that for him over Tyrese Maxey, over Melton. Definitely be a bounce back spot for him to actually pop off. If he can come out here and knock down his shots, maybe get a couple rebounds and play harder on the defensive side, I wouldn't mind. Don't hate that for him. So definitely a GPP option that you can go to at that 6K range. But Melton and Harris be the main 2 I want to get to over here for them on the 76ers. Now over here to the Bulls. Andre Drummond, he let everyone down last time. He got a price bump up 500. He's now 8K. Play Andre Drummond. That is all. Literally, we just seen the same thing happen with my boy Patrick Williams. Called it, said it. Patrick Williams went out there, let us down. 8.75 fantasy points. What did he do out there against the Pacers? 37.75 fantasy points in 38 minutes. Now, Drummond, the rebounds will be there for him. He's contending up against Paul Reed. He's bigger than Paul Reed. He's a dominant rebounding big. As long as he keeps himself out of foul trouble, he's not. Hopefully, he doesn't pick up any ticky-tacky fouls going up against Paul Reed, which I would think it would be the latter. He's going to get Paul Reed in foul trouble. Same thing with, as long as he's not out there fouling on like Tobias Harris when he drives in there trying to get a pull-up midi or something like that, or driving to the rim. Hopefully, he's actually able to get some blocks or something like that. But the upside today is definitely going to be there for Andre the Giant Drummond. Really do like him here in this spot. Pretty good matchup, especially without any Embiid out there. I do like the upside for him, and hopefully we can get him at some lower ownership just simply because of what he did last game out there at the 7.5 price tag, and now his price up to 8K. I think people are going to be off of that right there. Everyone else over here, DeMar DeRozan, Kobe White, Patrick Williams, not really too interested in everybody. If I take anything else, it'll be Alex Caruso at 5.4. Dude's been steady Freddy. As long as he's getting over 25 minutes a game, he's been very much producing, and I do like the upside and everything for him. So I would take Alex Caruso if I take anything else from over there. The Lakers taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Looking at it, of course, your usual suspects, Anthony Davis, LeBron James. As long as they play, they're good plays. Don't hate it. It's going to be a tough matchup for them going up against the Twin Towers, as long as Karl-Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert can keep themselves out of foul trouble. I don't really necessarily like anybody over here on the Lakers. The usage is condensed in regards to the starting lineup and everything, and any of them can pop off at any point in time, but I'm just very honest. I really do not like anybody over here on the Fakers at all whatsoever. Now, going over here to the other side, Anthony Edwards, Karl-Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert. I have a lot of interest in all three of these guys. My favorite play out of all of them, don't throw stones at me, is Rudy Gobert. Centers going up against Anthony Davis have actually done a pretty decent job, especially considering that AD, he likes to play in the paint. As long as Rudy can keep himself out of foul trouble, he should be fine. Definitely contending with him on the rebounding glass. And I just saw Nick Richardson play against the freaking Lakers and drop 30+ fantasy points. Nick Richardson. Now, if you're telling me a backup center and Nick Richardson can go out there and drop 30+, then a starting defensive of the year, two-time defensive player of the year, Rudy Gobert, should be able to go out there and give me at least about 40+ fantasy points. At least. At 7.4, love the upside, direct pivot off of my Drummond take if you want to even go there and mess with that instead. But I do like the upside for Rudy Gobert. And then also that boy Ant, he does tend to get up. Playing against the Lakers, granted it's not going to be out in LA, but earlier this season playing against them, he played 38 minutes, dropped 49 fantasy points in that game. So I really do like the upside that we have for them. And like I said, Rudy Gobert going up against Anthony Davis, he dropped 40+ fantasy points in that game already. So yeah, I really do like the upside for him, especially if Towns was somehow miraculously decide he doesn't want to play, he wants to sit on today. I definitely do not mind just completely going with Rudy. Anyway, because he'll get all those minutes in time. And then, of course, if he misses Naz Reid and Kyle Anderson, they'll get a boost in regards to the minutes, time, and production. Over here for Dallas, taking on Golden State Warriors, Luka Doncic, he's going to be the guy. If Kyrie is still out and missing, which I don't think I've seen anything saying that he was going to play. Nash left for much time to who haven't played since his ill injury on December the 8th. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, nothing really update in regards to Kyrie, but anyway, it's Luka, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P. So Luka, 11-7, really great play. Honestly, who on the Golden State Warriors is going to stop him from doing what he wants to do? I'll wait. Exactly. Luka, just, it's safety. The floor is 60 with this dude. Like, straight up, the floor is 60. The floor is 60. So I'll take that all day, every day. And then outside of that, Russian roulette in regards to Tim Hardaway Jr. If we're going to get a good game, bad game. Had a bad game, came back, good game in his next game that he went out there and played. So don't mind Tim as a GPP option, but Dante Exum, been a minute since we had like consistent 35+ fantasy point game, so definitely could be a spot. Only played 24 minutes in the last game going against Minnesota, 21 fantasy points, so I do like the upside that we could possibly get for Exum. And of course that last game was also without Luka out there playing, so he plays much better with Luka on the floor. Over here on the Golden State Warriors side, like I said, if Kevon Looney was to miss, then Tracy Jackson-Davis, 4,800. He's been getting steady minutes over the last couple games. I do like the upside for him. 11 rebounds, 10 points. Really nice, especially going up against another rookie in Derek Lively. I don't really have interest in Derek Lively. I forgot to touch on that. But over here for the Golden State Warriors, definitely Tracy Jackson-Davis, have some interest there. Pod, he's just been playing amazing. I do like him, the value that we can get for there. And then this is definitely a bounce back spot for Jonathan Kuminga, who came out in that last game. Started out so hot. So, and I say so, but then he had turnover after turnover after turnover after turnover. It was ridiculous. But I definitely would take a stab at Jonathan Kuminga to be able to bounce back. The only thing is that I swear it's like he'll start off the game scorching, just going, and then just die. Like it's no steady. No, it's just straight up gone, just dead. So I do like the upside you could possibly get there for a low on Kuminga. He does have a pretty decent matchup going up out here, but Pod to me is going to be the safer out of the two of them, and out of between the two, Kuminga and him. And then for something's just really pulling me in the direction of Jackson Davis. I know it's another center to contend with between your center and your util spot, but it's just something's pulling me in that direction, especially if Kevon Looney was to be out. All right, guys, that's going to be a breakdown for me. Hopefully, I gave you guys some info. If you guys are looking for my core play, my pool, and everything, or any of my prop plays, my list, I'm about to actually get the props up for NFL and for NBA. That'll be up before this video even gets completely rendered and uploaded. You guys can check that out down the link below for the Dub Club. Drop a like on the video if you guys did enjoy it. Talk to me down in the comment section. Let me know who's your killer stack that you think is going to be the play for tonight. Hey, that's going to be it for me, guys. Peace.